Oh my gosh, welcome back. I've missed you so much. I'm Joel Doherty, and this is In the Loop. We started In the Loop back this spring as a way to try and get information about OneWorld that would be interesting to everybody, stuff that people might not know. And we've been dark for almost 2 months now because I haven't really been able to think of anything to do. If you can think of anything that you want to hear on In the Loop, feel free, drop me a note. I'll try and figure out a way to work it in. We had something happen this week though that I thought would be perfect for In the Loop, so I asked Steve Elgan to join us. Hey Steve.
Hey Joel.
So earlier on, it was Tuesday, we had a phone system outage, and that affected everybody who receives incoming calls. What the heck happened on Tuesday?
I'm glad you asked. So we had a piece of equipment that's owned by our internet service provider begin to fail on Monday. And we know this because we started receiving reports from users across multiple locations about audio quality issues. So Monday night, our ISP came on site and did some maintenance, got it back up and running. But then by Tuesday, when we started business, we realized we couldn't receive inbound calls.
Wow. So was it right away when we started on Tuesday?
It probably failed sometime before the day began on Tuesday.
Okay, and how long were we until everything started working again?
6 hours.
Wow, that's a long time. What did we do in the meantime?
Well, what we did was we worked with our ISP to forward all of our phone numbers for all of our departments and all of our locations to a third-party service that we set up on that day for the first time, and then plugged in a bunch of cell phones that staff here were so gracious enough to let us borrow, and we gave those phones to the phone staff. And so calls were being routed to a bunch of cell phones, and staff were kind of triaging those calls the best way that they could for the whole time.
Nice. It's a pretty ingenious way to work around that. Is everything back up and running now?
Yeah, everything's back up and running now. They got us working at 2 p.m. roughly on Tuesday with some temporary equipment, and then came back later that night with a permanent piece of hardware, and so things are fully operational.
Cool. Well, thanks for explaining that so everybody watching knows kind of what happens behind the scenes when we have an outage like that.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Happy Friday. Until next time, I'm Joel Doherty
And Steve Elgan.
for In the Loop.